Jacqui-Lee Pryce for Shadowboxruk UK. I'm here with the lovely Johnny Nelson. How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm good. It's been a long day so far. Easter weekend. I'm like thinking I'm gonna get some food, but then it's Good Friday, so what's open?
Well, what are you trying to say? That Birmingham haven't got any decent places?
There's no places around here, so we've just got to stick close. Go Nando's or something like that. I'll find it.
There you go. So anyway, they're packing up. The credits are rolling, so we better get on with it. How you doing, by the way? You all right?
I'm all right. It's going to be a busy next 10 days. We're here in Birmingham this week. We've got London next week for the Conor Benn Eubank fight. So far so good.
Let's talk about the fight that goes ahead on obviously Sunday. I keep saying Saturday because we're used to Saturday. Sunday, Cameron, Whittaker. Oh my days! This fight, everybody's talking about it. Are you allowed to say who you're favouring, or not really?
No, I just can't give my. Regardless of who I favour, I'd say who I think's going to win. And you've got to look. You look at the two of them. Liam Cameron's a Sheffield boy. He's on my doorstep, So he's one of us. So common sense would tell me to lean towards Liam, but in reality, I don't think that is the case. I think Benn Whittaker, made a mistake. He underestimated the amount that was in front of him. So now he has to fix that mistake and rectify it. People are talking to him like he lost. He's getting vilified. He's getting called every name under the sun. And so he's having to learn the next level of being a professional fighter. And if you want to be a champion, you've got to be in a position. You put yourself in a position where you've got to be strong enough to ignore the praises as much as you ignore the booing. Because once you start to believe in your own hype, that's the beginning of your downfall. And I think Ben thought it's an easy job, just get it done, just walk straight through him. He made a mistake. He took the wrong tactics. I expect him to have the right tactics this time to use his unorthodox style and use his boxing ability. He said, it's a worse performance, worse version of him. I believe him. I do believe him. And as the fight was going on, I'm like, what's this guy doing, man? So he was out of character. So I expect Benn Whittaker to get the job done.
So you talk about that he made a mistake and he got the tactics wrong, but there are people saying, there's a question mark over the whole stamina thing, and this is why there's been this whole uproar about the 10 rounds versus 12 rounds. Do you believe that's the case, or do you think it was just the enormity? Because you know what it's like, the enormity of a fight. All the press, we've talked about how he's been pushed along and there's a lot of glaring light on him. Do you just think that it was the enormity and the nerves that got the better of him that night?
I don't think it was nerves. I think it was the fact that the enormity, as in he wanted to steal the show. He wanted to steal a show with a spectacular knockout because it was a great platform to do it on. And unfortunately, that platform was more of a hindrance because on a great platform, he showed a vulnerability, his worst performance. So you've got to be careful what you wish for. So everybody was talking about it, but for the wrong reasons. But Benn Whittaker, he has the ability. Clearly, we've seen him having the ability. He just boxed out of character, and midway through the fight, I thought, what's this boy doing? Fighting on the front foot, trying to blast him out of there, gassing himself out. And I don't think he'll make that mistake again. Using an orthodox style, using the good boxing ability that he's got as well. And if he uses those things, then he wins the fight.
Listen, he's incredibly. He's got good hand speed, great feet. He's lovely at that long to mid range, and for some reason he wanted to get into a little bit of a tear up. Also, there's people talking about the whole showboating. In your opinion, is it sometimes to add to somebody's natural flair rather than take it away, or are you a strong believer of no, I don't like that showboating and let's stick strictly to boxing?
I encourage the showboating. I encourage the unorthodox style of fight because there's not many unorthodox fighters out there, so how can you prepare for one? But he's actually a good boxer as well, so I think he should just have discipline in the orthodox style and his discipline as being a good fighter as well.
I like the fact that you're saying about discipline, because I think when he shows a little bit of that flair, he's almost looser. He's got more of a flow, hasn't he, about him?
Yeah, it's believing in what you can do. Believing in what you can do, saying this works. You know, sometimes a fight can be in a fight and he'll be catching the opponent with a solid jab, boom, boom. Because he doesn't see the effect of it on the opponent, he stops throwing it. And then he looks back on the fight thinking, why did I stop throwing the jab? So it's believing in your ability and what you're capable of doing.
Isn't that called admiring your work?
Or too busy looking good. That's what it's called, too busy looking good.
It's true. So I like to read what goes on in social media, and a lot of people, and maybe it's they're jumping on the bandwagon, I don't know, you know, they're all sort of for backing Cameron, etc. And then all of a sudden Andy Lee comes out of the shadows, and everyone's like, oh, hold on a minute, he's a great coach. Is he the person that can really turn Benn Whittaker around, or add to whatever he's already got? Put some sprinkles, some seasoning.
Some seasoning on it. I don't know. And that's the jury's out on that one, because when I heard he'd gone with Andy, I thought Andy's a good coach, but is your seasoning the right seasoning for this chicken dish? You know what I mean? So I don't know if Andy has the ability to bring the best out in Benn's unorthodox style, but also install remind him of his boxing ability, what he's capable of doing. So if you get the two mixed to work together, that'd be great. But I don't know if Andy understands how to bring the best out of somebody's unorthodox style. So that's what I'm just waiting to see. So the jury's out on that. When I heard he was shopping around for a coach, I'd heard he was speaking to Adam Booth. Yeah. I thought, good shout, good Adam Booth. He understands the unorthodox style, but also brings the best out in one. But he'd have done what suited him. You know, he might love the fact that he's in Dublin, he's taking himself away from everything, so it's the solitude of camp. But he's done what's best for him so far.
Cameron, let's talk about Cameron, because listen, he has had an incredible year. I think it's a year, you know. Benn Whittaker has said that he's given him a career. I mean, is that a little bit too harsh?
Yeah, it is. It's disrespectful, because Liam Cameron's just done what he does, and it's been look where it's gotten to. Liam Cameron, so for a kid that's really been overlooked. Look at where he's at, and this is through no fault of his own. That's through Benn's fault. So Benn needs to learn to put some spec on the back of his name. You know, he needs to look at Liam and think, you know, I've got to respect this boy, because this boy, he's slid under the radar, and look what he's done now. So he's got to be smart about what he does. Josh
Warrington's backing Cameron. Says he's known him since the AMS.
I think he's fighting on Saturday.
Yeah, he is fighting Saturday.
I think Josh should have retired, actually, if I'm honest with you. And it surprises me, but I thought he'd have retired. But you know, he's got that boxing book.
I was going to say, you must know it's tough to leave. You're one of the wise, smart ones, so they say.
That's what I'm saying. But you know, he's got that boxing book, and you see it happen to so many fighters. You think, just be careful.
To be fair, I understand it. I understand when I stopped boxing. If I hadn't gone into coaching,
but I totally understand. But you just got to think. You got to walk away when you got to walk away. And he's probably thinking, you know what, I don't know what his motivation is. I don't think it's the money. I think he earned decent money. Yeah. But it's just, as a fight, I still think I can fight. I'm 58. You know what I mean? So you just think, you know, you just got to write those things out of your head.
Yeah, allow it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. There was lots made about this 10-round, 12-round discrepancy of the older contract. Whose discrepancy we don't know, but. I heard obviously that Cameron's been well paid.
Compensated.
Yeah, well compensated. So between you and me, do you know how much it is?
Yeah.
You're not going to share?
No.
Oh. But well compensated.
He's getting paid well. He's been negotiating himself a good little purse.
Hey.
Yeah, on top of that. So good on him. And I love hearing any fighter make any money. I love hearing that fighters make money. So I'm like, we're good on it.
Yeah. Do you think they made a bit of a meal of that? Everybody?
Yeah, they did, without a doubt. Benn dropped the ball, he messed up, and so it's like somebody pulling your pants down in the schoolyard. So that's what they've done. Like, yo, boom, and to embarrass him. That's what they've done.
You know.
And that's just, he's just got to bite the bullet and say, yeah, I messed up.
Swallow it. Yeah, it's true.
But
It's
he'll
true.
never do it again.
Yeah, it's true. On a big stage.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, it's true. So I really wanted to talk about fight next week. I know it's a week away, but I might not get to speak to you. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. Listen, what a fight! What a fight! Are you enjoying all the back and forth? And let's just say Eubank Jr. You might not like his tactics, but he's playing.
He's played a blinder. Big respect to him. And I've said it in every interview, big respect for him giving the fighters that were on the undercard of the last fight that got cancelled and giving them compensation. Some compensation. Big respect to him because nobody does it.
It's about 12 fighters and all.
And everybody ignored it. Everybody's ignored the fact. You know, the promoters, the other fighter, Conor, they've ignored it. So for Chris to do that, he's basically saying, shame on all you lot. That's, and to me, commendable.
But to be fair, he's done it, and I think he's just done it because he knows what it's like. And I totally agree with you. They want to jump on the negatives, but they don't jump on the positives.
To me, there's no negative about it at all. But, whatever his motivation for doing it, I don't care. He's done it. And he's put the spotlight on it. It's something that people just ignore. He's done it. So big respect to him, massive respect to him.
He seasons his food.
Sorry?
He seasons his food.
He seasons his food well.
Did you not see the omelette?
He sautés it. He sautés it.
Like I said, some people might not like the way that he sold the fight, but to be fair, he has got everybody talking, hasn't he?
He's done the job. And listen, even though he and Eddie are on opposite sides of the fence, I bet Eddie secretly thinks rated. Because if it was Eddie's fight, Eddie's like, brilliant, love it. So you've got to rate him.
I heard he's very good at very intelligent, very good at mind games. He understands his part of the game and gets on with it.
I think he's emotionally detached himself from boxing and boxing folk. I don't think he doesn't love, the boxing world, but he's good at it. So whilst he's in it, he's in. Whilst he's out, when he's out, he's out. So that, because he emotionally detaches himself from it, that's why he's been so successful.
And when you talk about emotional attachment, on the flip side, some people are saying that Conor Benn is slightly too emotional. It's easy to prod him and poke him.
That's what makes Conor, just like his dad. That's what I like, Conor. I like his attitude. I like that young boy. I like everything about him. I like Conor. So you won't want to change Conor at all. That's so to me, I think Conor, that's part of his makeup.
I like it when he starts cussing in Spanish.
Yeah, man, fluent in it. I'm like, Jesus, I'm going to learn that.
Hey, I was shocked when I was like, hey.
Yeah, good. I like him. I got a lot of time for him.
To be fair, I like him, and I feel like I might be talking out of term here, but I feel a little bit like there's a bit of hypocrisy around the whole alleged drug taking. I feel like he's more than most people. People have really dwelled on it, kept bringing it up. It was brought up today in an interview. Do you think people are a little bit too hard on it? There's a little bit of hypocrisy around this whole alleged taking?
It's always going to be brought up. It's always going to be brought up. Once you're a sportsman, especially boxing, and that's been attached to you, it's always going to be brought up whenever you fight. It's going to be the next sentence.
I don't think certain other people have had it as bad as him. I'm going to be honest.
Okay, all right, but you know what? Time will tell. Because the reason why it was as bad as him, because it's dragged on for 2.5 years. Fighters that have failed the test and gone on with their career, like your Canelos, like your Whites, like your Furies. They've took the lick, taken the heat, got on with their career. Nobody's talking about it.
That's my point.
You know what I mean? But Conor has fought, so he's dragged it out. So unfortunately, people know Conor. The second sentence is test. Because it's been dragged out. So it's like it's part of who he is. It's like his second name, and so that's where the problem is. My argument with all of that is, regardless of if he has or hasn't. My point is why is he's the only name that's being called? Why he's got a camp? He's got a coach. He's got physicians. If his name's being called, everybody else's name should be called. And then if you name the names, then those people will make sure, you know what, if other people that are in that situation and they hear someone or see something, they'll make sure, you know, you do everything right because you're affecting my living too. But so the board have got to be smart with that, saying, you know what, if you drug test, you're suspended, and everybody else around is suspended. My mum used to say, Johnny, you know, when you go out and anything happens, they're not going to say X, Y, Z, they're going to say Johnny Nelson's friends. So the only name they know is mine. So the only name that's being called out is Conor Benn's name, and nobody else's name. And that's the way they can start to try and get some kind of control of this kind of situation.
I'm understanding your point being that because he opened his mouth and fought back rather than took it lying down, that is the reason why they keep on and on and on.
Yeah, and he spent a lot of money fighting Mike, saying, no, I didn't do it. So regardless of what you or I believe, that's what he did. So and that's why it's dragged out for so long.
Chris Eubank Sr. believes he was set up. That's what he said in an interview the other day.
Well, we all have an opinion. I have my opinion, and as I say, my opinion is, why is his the only name that's being called out? That's my opinion. Why is Conor's name the only name that's being called when everybody's in that team? You know, so that's my opinion, and I have a reason why I say that. And Chris has his reasons for saying he's been set up. I don't know where it comes from. He has his reasons. Who benefits from it?
In your experience, does that happen?
I fought 3 fighters that failed the test. I fought 3 fighters that failed the test and beat them. Don't make you a better fighter. Don't make you a smarter fighter, should I say. Might make you stronger, bit fitter.
Stamina.
Don't make you clever. Don't make you have a better boxing IQ. So might benefit you physically to get to a certain level, but that's all it does. And so just because one takes or not doesn't mean they're going to be a winner. And I'm quite sure there's a lot of losers that have taken and and I've beaten 3 of them. So yeah, it does happen. You know, it happens probably more than what people realise.
Chris Eubank Sr. is very he was very emotional the other day. He doesn't want to be anywhere near the fight. Do you think that the whole situation with him and Michael Watson, still there's a bit of trauma still floating about?
I think Chris was very emotional the other day because he's talking like a father is to his son, not like a promoter, not like a manager, not like a press secretary. He's talking like as a father would to his son. You know, he's cussing out his son like he would cuss him out at home. So the only difference was he wasn't behind closed doors. So I see where Chris Senior's coming from, but I also see where Junior's coming from. Junior is a young lion coming through saying, "Nah, Dad, I'm doing it. I'm doing it my own way." You know, the only thing he's not catching a beating because he's a grown man. That's just life. Chris Senior's talking like a father is to his son, and that's how it is.
What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 days? I know that's probably a hard thing to answer.
I'm looking forward to seeing Tottenham packed out, full of fight fans, and people with the same mindset going there to see a fight. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Lovely. I hope you get some chicken that I won't name their names because they don't sponsor me.
Available.
Thanks ever so much for giving us your time.
No problem. Sweet.